Well, hi there folks, it's Matt Hayson reporting here on this ever-changing property market as we all move to a very unusual Easter holiday period where we're being told to stay at home in lockdown. So I thought I'd place a stake in the ground on the performance of the property market prior to Easter. So let's look at the auction market. So last Saturday here in Sydney was a pretty disappointing outcome, a clearance rate sitting at 33%, and it was scheduled to be a pretty big auction weekend with 1,268 properties due to go to auction. In the end, we only saw 178 properties actually go under the hammer. 350 of those properties actually sold prior, and 550 of those properties were put to private treaty for sale. Down in Melbourne, didn't fare much better, an auction clearance rate sitting at 27%. Brisbane, that auction market has completely collapsed, sitting at 20%. Down in Canberra was the best of the capital cities with an auction clearance rate at 39%, and in Adelaide, an auction clearance rate at 29%. Now we keep hearing we're all in this together. Now when you look at those auction clearance rates right across the country, they're all experiencing the same outcome, that is for sure. Here's some interesting data. Dwelling prices increased by 2.8% for the first quarter of 2020, and we can understand why. The first 2/3 of the quarter were absolutely fine for the property market, but it's just this last month of March where we've really seen a big shift in the property sector. And to bring that into context for you, right now, Cobden and Hayson, we've got 89 properties on the market for sale or auction. Now, typically we were meeting around 1,300 people per week when we were doing open home inspections. But in the last week, we've done just 117 private appointments. So that's a big drop. Also nationwide, we've seen a surge of 74% for the number of properties which are on the market now between 30 and 60 days. So that's just highlighting now that properties are taking more time to sell. And a big question we're being asked in the market at the moment, is there any difference with prices? And we can tell you there is price corrections evident across the market at the moment between 5 and 10%, and that's certainly trending lower. Now looking across at the rental market, we're starting to see a big spike in the number of rental vacancies. Here in Sydney, we're trending towards an increase of around 3% in rental vacancies, which is a big jump. To bring that into context, here at Cobden and Hayson, we've currently got 180 properties on the market for lease. That gives us an internal vacancy rate of 2.8%, but overall, we've got 4.2% of our overall portfolio on the market for lease. So right now we're starting to see some significant shifts in the property sector, and what's likely to happen next is going to be largely influenced around how long these restrictions remain in play. If we can start to see some restrictions around business lifted through the months of May and into June, maybe that will stabilise the property sector. However, if we see a second wave of the viruses swinging through the Australian winter and these restrictions remain in place for a long period of time, no doubt that will negatively impact the property sector. So that's where the overall performance of the property market is sitting prior to Easter. As I said, it's going to be a very interesting holiday period for us all, sitting at home, eating chocolate and watching Netflix. So meanwhile, hopefully you do stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll catch you all next week. Thanks for watching.